Hey there everyone! Happy Monday! Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time where we can relax and craft for about an hour in the evening here, and we work on projects from beginning to end. And right now we are continuing on the Charming Chevrons quilt by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. We are to the stage that we're going to start doing some free motion quilting. So I have not done free motion quilting before. I've been reading up on it and watching a few videos. We're going to just do some practice things tonight and setting up my area a little bit for it to work out. And if you guys saw my Instagram stories from about an hour ago, you'll see that there may be a little bit of an issue when we do this, but I will let you know when I flip you around. I'll talk more about that. So we're just going to play today, see how it goes, make any adjustments, and then tomorrow hopefully we'll be starting on the real quilt. And yep, I finally got Mr. Hedgie hung up straight there. So it's not all over the place. I got my Splendid Sampler 2 fabric hanging out right here. The Splendid Sampler 2 starts on Thursday, so I will be doing all the videos, or I'll be doing videos for the entire Splendid Sampler 2 quilt here, just like how I did for the Splendid Sampler 1, and that starts on Thursday. So Thursday and Friday I'll be working on the Splendid Sampler 2. And then Monday through Wednesday, we'll be doing our normal, regularly scheduled stuff. So, but Thursday and Friday every week here, we will be working on the Splendid Sampler 2. So hopefully you grab some fabrics. I'm going to put a little video out soon for picking fabrics. I know I'm a little late, but there'll be people coming in starting this project all throughout the year. So I'm excited for that, starting Thursday, crazy. All right, oh, and speaking of the Splendid Sampler, I finished stitching my label on, so I'll show you that really quickly here before we get free motion quilting tonight. I still have to photograph it, snip all the little threads off, and give it a wash before it's officially complete. But I'm confident to still say that it was finished in June on the label because the label is stitched on, and so technically I'm calling it done. So, all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Thanks again for joining me tonight. Hope you're having a good Monday. All right, there it is, Splendid Sampler quilt. I'm going to get you guys up real high here so I can show you the label. I folded it up, so let's see. Oh, there's that green bobbin, or the green binding. That's where our label is. So here we go. I have it all stitched on, and if you look close, it just kind of blends into the quilt. It's part of the quilt now. We fused this on Friday, and then on Friday night I watched a movie and hand stitched it on there. You can see all the little stitches. But here we go. Let me try and make it a little bit bigger here. But there we go. There's the label. Starting at that funny green corner. We did like that weird long label, and the fabric for the label came from when we were cutting the scrap edge from the back of the quilt. So we're reusing stuff. Project the Splendid Sampler quilt along, woohoo! All right, so that is done. Like I said, all I need to do is there's some threads here and there that I need to clip off, like when I was doing the bindings and the borders and stuff. So I got to clip those. I want to photograph it and just on the floor, and then give it a wash and see how it manages. Washing it, I'm going to use the color catchers. Those are those little fabric things that you throw in the wash, and if any fabric bleeds, in theory, these color catchers are supposed to capture all that extra dye. So we'll give that a test and see what comes out of that. And then I got the Charming Chevrons quilt right here. Geez, these are heavy. So we've got all of our zigzags stitched in here. This is the back, but we're going to be free motion quilting in every other one. So that's what I kind of want to practice a little bit tonight before jumping onto here, just to see if the machine's set up good enough and if it's working, so we can get started for real. But those quilts are going to hang out right there. And I'm going to come down here now. Here, let me just throw this there so you don't have that bright light. So I have put my darning foot on here. Just so you guys know, if you saw my my post, I think it's on Facebook and Instagram, my little story, you'll see that I oiled and cleaned up everything. I took the plate off and I dusted it all out. I had tons of red fuzz everywhere. But if you've been with me here, you know I've been having so many problems with the belt of my sewing machine, and you can only see the belt when you open up the bottom area. So if I tilt this and unscrew it, you know, like I would for oiling it, then you can see the belt. And I don't oil underneath as much as I should probably, just because, I don't know, it's a big hassle. You got to unscrew the whole thing and take the bottom off. But I unscrewed it and I oiled it up because I'm prepping for all of this. And there were so many little cuts in the belt, which has been the problem for the past, like, you know, several times I've redone the belt. So I don't know if that's just a common thing to have all these problems with the belt, but I think this time I'm going to have to go online and find a new belt somewhere. So if any of you have any suggestions for sewing machine belts or a good place to find one online, let me know. Here, I'll show you guys the video of it. Let's see if I can find it on my Instagram, just because I want to show you guys just what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about the belt. So here we are. So here's my Instagram thing, but if you watch, this is underneath my machine. Look at all these cuts in it. All these little tears. And it's affecting the motion. So it's getting stalled sometimes and like the wheel's going, but it's not moving the belt. And other times it just jiggers or tries to catch up. So it's a problem. It's going to be a problem when we're trying to move this around at a steady pace if the wheel's not going at a steady pace. So that's a huge bummer. We're going to just keep going just to see how it goes. And actually, if we keep going, then we'll be able to see if there's a difference too once we have it fixed. But man, if you guys have any recommendations for online supplies for sewing stuff, let me know, because I need to get that replaced. And I'm going to do it myself this time too, I think. I just realized this is not plugged in. All right, so let's talk about this and pretend that my belt is okay. So I've switched to a darning foot. It's a darning foot or a free motion foot, sometimes it's called. So the interesting thing about this is that it has a little kind of tab here. Let me see if I can see from the side a little bit better. But yeah, so this little part, it moves with it. This little bar has to sit on top of this little bar here. That's what makes it go kind of up and down once we start sewing. But anyway, so basically it's just kind of a guard for your fingers. You could do the same thing with just a needle and move the fabric around, but then you risk stabbing yourself, which I don't want to do. So that's the darning foot. Switched it to there. So one other thing I've done is I have put my stitch length to 0. So that means that my presser feet, or my feed dogs, I mean, sorry, I'm moving around kind of a lot, guys. So that means my feed dogs will go up and down, but they won't pull the fabric along. They'll just go up and down because the distance is at 0. Then here's the other thing with this machine that I'm just so upset about right now. I'm having such an evening today with the machine, guys. You always have some of those every once in a while with the sewing machine. But this is how I put my presser feet down, but they don't go down. And if I look underneath the machine, it seems like it's stuck, and now I've even gotten it like more stuck. Like this doesn't go all the way back up, so that's more things underneath the machine that I need to play around with. But one option that we've been talking about to cover up the feet is putting a little business card there. So I've got a little business card here. I've poked a hole in it, and I've put some tape on there. So I'm gonna just give this a try. I'm going to actually get the bobbin stuff stuck in here. So, you know what? I think I'm gonna actually pull the bobbin thread out of here while I'm doing this. There we go. Maybe give the quilt a good press before starting free motion quilting. Oh, that's a good idea. I need all the tips I can when it comes to free motion quilting. So what this is doing is just covering up the feed dogs. All right, so I'm just getting that hole lined up. And let's just stick this down. And I'm going to have to do this every time I free motion quilt because we're going to be working on the Splendid Sampler too, and I'll have to move things around. So I don't know, hopefully this works. We're giving it a try. All right, now I can bring the bobbin thread back up again, hopefully. All right. So many things today with this. But it's fun. We're going to give it a go. All right. So technically we should be ready right now. I have some just scrap fabric here. I'm going to lift you guys up. Some scrap fabric that we're going to be playing around with tonight. It is not the same fabric that my quilt is made out of. I do have a couple pieces of fabric that the quilt is made out of, and we'll use that before going on the quilt just to make sure our tension is right. But we're going to play around with what we got here for now just because they're kind of bigger pieces, and I got a lot of them, and I don't care if they get used. So here we are. And I'm going to put in some of the same batting. This is our scrap batting, our extra batting from when we did the quilt. So this is the correct batting if we're looking for the same type of batting. So I'm just going to cut a piece that's as long as our fabric here for us to practice on. Making our little practice quilt sandwich. Okay, so there we are. And you know what? I think, why don't we draw some chevrons on here right away to practice with? So these won't be exactly like ours, but it'll be close. Close enough that we can give a little practice. There, and we'll play around in here and stuff too. All right, so I am using Krista's book, Machine Quilting with Style. It's how to do some quilting with the walking foot and with free motion quilting. So it's just like a really nice book for just a whole pile of different ways to quilt, along with actual patterns for these quilts as well. And for the free motion, so here are some of the basic, well, not necessarily basic, but some of the quilting, free motion quilting that I commonly see for free motion quilts, and I want to try them. So there's this meandering or stippling. We'll try that one first, where you just kind of wiggle around to fill a shape. We got just some general wiggle waves. And you can do those waves in all sorts of directions, which is kind of cool. I might try this, like wiggle to one end and then back and back and back and back. We got these kind of squiggles where we have circles. You can kind of meander. It's where you meander, but you're adding a circle twist to it. Some meandering with shapes. You can do squares, triangles. Here's that the pebbles where you make a bunch of circles. We'll give that a try because it's just cute. It looks fun. But this I thought would be really good. Just this back and forth. I thought this would be really good for our chevrons. So I think I want to try that tonight on our fake chevron. And then we get into these like free motion spirals. This is where it starts blowing my brain a little bit. So I'm excited to get to this point, but I definitely want to do all of the other little basic ones until I get a little bit more comfortable with what we're doing. So just to start out, I'm going to just play around in this area and see what we have. And I have a bunch of pieces of this fabric and more batting that we can play with too. So, all right, let's just jump right in and give this a try. So you always, in general, you want your top thread, when you're pulling on it, you want to do that underneath your presser foot so you're not pulling directly on the needle. Because like, look, if I pull like this, then I'm moving the needle. I want to go underneath there, and then it takes some stress off of the needle there. All right, so I'm just going to go here. And I think, let's just try and we'll play with meandering and we'll try and fill in this area here. So I think if we just go down and come up once, oh, let's try that again. I think that will bring, oh, maybe I have to go backwards. I'm trying to bring the bobbin thread up. There we go. So I had to go backwards there. Now I should just be able to pull this, and there we go. So now the bobbin thread is coming up, and that's how we want to start free motion quilting. I should get my stiletto here instead. It's hiding. I guess we're using the scissors. There we go. So now we're set. We got both of our threads up top here. And now I can just hold those, make sure the presser foot is down. And we should be good to go. It helps to hold on the upper thread when you do that. Oh, but I managed just fine. Okay, thanks, Paula. So I'm just going to go in the same spot a couple times just to kind of get attached, I think. I don't know, we'll see. And you know what? I'm going to use the little grippets right away. All right. I'm already freaking out. We're going to meander, okay? We're going to meander. I'm going to try and fill in this space a little bit. I'm going to actually go up first. So we're just trying to play with the speed of the pedal and the speed of my hands. And you know what? It kind of sounds, doesn't it kind of sound like I'm hitting that cardboard a little bit of my business card? I think I might be. All right, let's try and fill up this space here. So last time we tried this just on that I'm going to already sell it. I'm going to have a hard time chatting at the same time as this. But last time we tried this on some of those blocks that we were doing all of that scrap fabric on, I noticed that when I went up this way, like what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go up that way to the top of the quilt. That's when it was skipping stitches and stuff. And I don't know if that's just me not pulling just right or what. Oh, now I forgot that I was stippling. I'm just kind of moving it around.
I'm definitely feeling like a pause before I have to before I move. The hole needs to be bigger. All right, I'm gonna when I'm done with this, we're gonna go and try and make that hole a little bit bigger. So I'm really trying to hold my foot pedal at one speed. Which is not that easy. All right, I need to get in here and get out. Ooh, geez. Wow, it definitely wants to move more. I don't know. This is just going to take practice. Oh, you think I'm going to be very good at free motion quilting? Maybe one of these days I will be able to talk and do it at the same time. So like right now I'm only able to do one thing at a time. I am curious about this going back up this direction though, because that's where I was having the issues last time. But now that we have batting and stuff, it's funny, when I move, don't move it until the needle is in the fabric. What do you mean, in the fabric? Because how do you move it when it's in? Don't I have to wait till it's out? It's funny, when I move into this direction, the fabric into this direction, the stitch seems to be huge, so I don't know if I'm just moving it a lot in that angle. When you change direction, the needle should be down. When I change direction, so like now I want to go this way, so that's changing direction. Well, let's experiment. Let's go a little bit faster. How about that? So the other thing that I'm curious about is how this belt is going to be affecting things. Because when I was cleaning the belt and moving it around, moving the wheel around, I could definitely tell that it was sliding and then speeding up. So that's not going to be good for free motion quilting. Oh, you like how it looks? Oh, thanks, Gretchen. So the trick is to get enough in a rhythm where my stitches end up being a similar length to each other. Oop, there, it's going faster. And that I can stay consistent, but oh my gosh, I can tell that I'm being tense about it because my wrists are already like freaking out. So I just need to relax, I think. My fear is always that I'm going to back myself into a hole that I can't get out of, or a corner that I can't get out of. Relax and breathe. Exactly, Paula. That's what I got to be doing. So once I get to this corner, oh, I guess there's not really a corner. Once I get over here, we'll stop and take a look at it so far. Then I want to maybe try that up and down movement in the chevron area. All right, so let's stop there. All right, I think I can just snip this, right? Will that do the job? And then snip underneath. All right. I just want to hold this down here without fabric. I want to see if it is hitting this this postcard here. You're not good at this, but when you took classes, the speed of the pedal is like the pedal to the metal and hands move slower. Pedal to the metal and hands move slower. Interesting. Has anyone else been in class and taught like that? Yeah, I want to try different speeds. Maybe we'll try fast and slow. Maybe I want to go try the up and down movements in the actual chevron, and maybe we try some that are slow and some that are fast. I just want to. All right, so I did that with the. The presser foot up, so now I got a big old knot. Let's just snip that. So I think it might just be hitting the fabric or the paper when I'm like, moving, and then it's a little bit bigger. But actually, I don't see it nicked in there. That might just be the noise of the feed dogs hitting this. But this is working well so far, I think. It's not coming up at all. I don't know, seems to be working. Smooth and steady it is all to do with constant speeds. The slower you go, the slower you move your hands. Okay, I will give that a try. Let's look at this quick. So, all right, here we go. Pretty choppy to begin with, for sure. Tension's looking pretty dang good, though. Yeah, when I was going at this angle, like right here, whenever I'm going like from here to there, every time I do that, it's like a really big jump. So I'm gonna have to watch that. Hey, if this was a quilt and it was like this would be legitimate. Look, this one looks like a little elephant there. It's gonna be like looking in the clouds. Here's a rhinoceros right here. Anyway, all right. I think curves are getting a little bit better at the end. So yeah, so let's just play with it. It seems like the tension's good, so I'm not worried about that. Oh, here, there's a little bit of tension issues, but that's like when I'm doing that jump again, it just felt like the machine was jumping there by itself almost. So I'm gonna have to watch that. That's probably my fault, but not the machine's fault. But yeah, I'm curious again once I get that new belt, or a belt that's not all cracked. Curious what will happen then. So, all right, let's snip these. I want to try again. So I want to go ahead, just because, I want to go ahead and try the up and down and up and down and up and down movement in here. Let's see if we can get some nice straight lines going. So I think let's draw it on too. We can trace the design. So I'm thinking of going up and down, like just practicing this movement. But I'm kind of curious what to do when we get to the corner. I suppose just keep going, right? I'm going to attempt to follow these lines. So that's good practice too, just drawing it and trying to follow lines. So we can go like that. Let's keep going. Let's play around. So I'm going to go like that, but what if we end up here? We'll just go like this for this next round. We'll loop it like this. That's kind of fun. Up to the middle. Oop. Looking kind of funny now. All right, and then let's just try echoing it a little bit here. All right, so we got a little plan here. Oh, it's so good. You had a lot of toe catchers your first time around. I freaking love that phrase, toe catchers. So toe catchers is when you make a stitch that's too big and you can catch your toe in there. Big stitches are toe catchers. So all right, let's try and follow this line, but I'm already totally digging this. Like I would legit be okay with this if this was one of our little chevrons. So let's try from one end and let's try and get to the other, and we'll work on straight lines and if we can follow a line, and you know, we'll play with speed. Maybe I'll try going faster and moving my hand slower. That whole idea. Then my stitches, I would assume, would be smaller, but I don't know. Let's give it a go. Oop. There we go. My phone just freaked out there for a second. Looks like we're still recording though. Okay, good. New Facebook update or something wants to do things differently. All right, let's start from this side. So this one we're gonna have to deal with bulk a little bit too. So let's roll that up. That's a variable that we aren't having by doing this, is all the bulk that I'm gonna have to deal with. So all right, press our foot down. I've got the bug now. That's what I'm doing this for, Noeline. I'm hoping to get the bug. I'm hoping I can crack this mystery of free motion quilting. This is one of those things that I've never really done, and it was always like a neat little mystery. So Paul, you said, oh, that's a good point. I did not base this at all. So, you know, I didn't pin this or anything. So I totally forgot about the basting of all this. So no, this fabric is just sitting on the top of this. That's a good point. I didn't actually base this in any way together. So fabric might be moving around. I think we'll quilt first, Gretchen. So I talked about potentially, well, I don't know, we'll see. Well, this seems to be quilting fine with, even though the belt is weird. So I think we'll quilt first, and then do the binding. So we talked about with the Charming Chevrons quilt that we would, we're going to do a binding where it uses the back of the fabric just rolled up for the binding. And so we could, in theory, do that now before we do our free motion quilting. But I don't know, now that I'm all set up for free motion quilting, now I want to get going on this. All right, so let's... Yeah, I know for sure that did not hit the postcard right there, and it sounded like it did, but it must be something else. It must be the feed dogs hitting it or something else. All right, so all right, going upward. Oh, this is interesting because I can't really see where I'm going here. All right, so I'm going to go fast and move my petals slowly. Oop, see, now I need a little close to the edge here. All right, so again, I'm going to try fast. I'm going to try fast and pedal fast and moving my hand slowly. So in theory, I should have a lot of little stitches, right? We'll see how that goes. I'll do that to, I don't know, maybe about here, and then I'll try going slow, and see how that goes. I'm really close to the edge here, though, so it's maybe not going to be as easy. All right, so fast and slow. All right, I'm going to just stop there. That feels good. And, but I bet you my stitches are really small. I'm going to zoom way in and then we can take a look before I try something else. How would you hide the thread ends from free motion quilting if you roll? Oh, how would I hide the thread ends if I did the free motion quilting after? I would just have to tie them off and tuck them in or something. So I think, but all right, I'm going to just get you guys way in here because I want to check this out. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Okay. So my stitches do look super duper small. Did the tension get goofy? Oh yeah, so here, oops, sorry guys. Okay, maybe I'm a little too zoomed out, hold on. All right, so this first row doesn't count, but like this second row is where I was going super like fast pedal and slow hand movements, and it actually feels really good, but yeah, I have the smallest, teeniest stitches, so I don't know if that's quite right. I'm thinking that should probably be a little bit bigger, but I'm excited. So let's try and go maybe a little less fast and still kind of slow hand, but that felt good. It felt good holding the pedal that fast. And here, maybe I'll just keep that there and you guys can see here. I'm gonna have to get you up a little higher though, so I can get my hand in there. So, all right, now I'm gonna just go not quite as fast with the pedal and just as slow with the hands. There, that's a slower speed. You know what it is? It's the, this is starting to feel good now. I think my stitches are a little bit bigger, but you know what it is? When you go super fast and you move your hand slow, it's almost like you're stitching with, a really short stitch length so that you can move really slowly and be more accurate almost. With me moving with my pedal going slower and my hands going a little bit faster, then I feel like I have to make my decisions a whole lot faster because I'm getting to my end a lot sooner. When the pedal's going slow and I'm moving my hands at a farther distance, I feel like I have less time to make my decision on what's happening next. All right, but this is starting to feel good. All right, let's get this guy in here. All right, now we're starting these loop-de-loops. So I see the benefit of going faster because you have more time to make your decisions then. So that's kind of neat, interesting. Okay, yeah, I dig a little bit faster speed. I have more time to think. I can plan out what happens next. And I feel like it holds my stitching in place while I think. All right, let's scooch over. I mean, my stitches are probably super duper small, but oops, I moved the thing a little bit. Here's where basting would have came in. I think I'm a little too fast. Oops. Couldn't see my line. We're a little off the line there. All right, so you can kind of see that I'm bunching it up. Oh, here you guys can't really see. It's kind of bunching up here a little bit. Here, I'm gonna go back this way so you guys can see my view. I didn't baste it, so it's kind of bunching up, and I'm not worrying about it because I just don't want to worry about one more thing. So I'm gonna just keep going here. Hold up, I need to get you a little higher so I can see. But that was a good suggestion. I think that fast, thinking of the pedal faster and then moving my hands a little slower, that, yes, the stitches are small, but it does allow me time to think, and it just feels like it's not jumping around as much. So yeah, okay, I'm digging this speed. Yeah, this is getting really bunched up here. All right, now I can tell that it's hard to move, so let's get these guys down here again. Yeah, much easier going faster. I do kind of feel like I really have to pull on it a little bit. All right, I'm just really close to the edge now, so I'm gonna just stop. I think I'll go up one more time. We'll go off the edge here. All right, let's, oh, plus it has been drawn on your fabric, which helps your planning. That's a good point. So, good point, Patricia. So I think, you know, at least maybe when we start, like I really like this thing. I would do this in a chevron, and maybe we can flip the direction as we go up the other side or something. Once you get used to the timing, you'll not have any trouble. Okay, that's good to know, Sue. But yeah, I could see we can get the water-soluble marking pen out. Actually, I have that chalk pencil that we've been using. That might actually show up on the red pretty well. Oh, I'm not doing it on the red. I'm doing it on the pattern. Well, anyway, I think that will help us go around. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay. So I'm going to just get you guys over here, and I'm going to lift this up so we can see. But it's cool. I like this up and down, and I kind of like it actually transitioning. You know, that's the thing. We don't have to do the whole thing as one. We could keep switching it up. So like this is like I wouldn't mind doing this as our first one. We go up and down, then swirl, and then like this sawtooth, and then we could go back to this again. That would be kind of fun. So, all right, I want to take a closer look at stitches. So this is where it's kind of hard to see. You can see a little bit from the edge here, but this is where I was going pretty fast with the petal, and you can see the stitches are teeny tiny, but they look good, and it was easy to move. Like this is a nice straight line right here. It was easy to move with the petal faster. And here's where I kind of started to go a little slower with the petal, but it was still going pretty fast. So this stitch length is looking pretty nice. And it kind of stopped jumping around too when I went a little faster. So that's great. Okay, that's going to be my go-to way now. I think a little faster and still moving the hand slow. You get to make decisions a little bit faster. And here's where I was kind of going a little slow again, and that's when I get the big stitches. So slower is not better for this, I don't think. Slow with the hands, but a little faster with the foot. That was a great suggestion. I don't think I would have I don't think I would have tried that combo on my own. So I'm happy we were playing with that a little bit. Oh, you're gonna do cursive L's in the background spaces. Yours are white. Oh, Lucy, that sounds like it's gonna be so beautiful. You try so hard to do feathers and just can't do it. So I've read a lot about feathers. I've obviously not tried one, but I've heard that if you draw the stem of the feather first, it's easier. I think if we're to do feathers, I do want to try and get to feathers when we do ultimately the final quilt. But I think we'll try drawing them on first and then tracing before you know, going in blind. So I think maybe that would be something to try too. So all right, we have some time left. Let's rotate this around, and let's do something in these last little areas. Why don't we try that loop-de-loop meander? So that's kind of like this, but smaller and in just keeping on loop-de-looping around. Yolanda, I did not drop the feed dogs just because my machine is not doing that right now, but I did cover them up, and I'll show you that in a sec. yeah, should we try some loop-de-loops? I think that's kind of fun. Let's see, what else could we try? There's the squiggles. We kind of did this. We could try those circles too. I kind of like these squiggles. I don't think I'm ready to do this guy yet. That scares me too much yet. Let's keep to the. I'm gonna try doing the squiggles here, and then maybe over here we do some of those pebbles or something. Let's give it a go! All right, I'm stoked. I'm totally feeling ready to just jump in. So, FYI though, not FYI, but just an alarm that's going off in my head yet is that I'm working on a teeny tiny piece here, and I'm not dealing with any bulk whatsoever. So this is all going to change once we get to bulk zone, I think. But I think that moving the pedal fast and your hand slow, I think that might take care of some of the bulk issues because it allows me to go a little bit slower. I'm kind of stoked. Those circly loopy things are one of the ones you find easier to do. Oh, Catherine, okay, great. So that's what I'm going to try now. I'm going to try the loop-de squiggles or whatever. You can still backtrack if you get stuck. Oh, that's true. If I get stuck in a corner, I can always stitch over stitches that I already have, and we'll be fine. So let's pretend I'm starting down here, and I'm having to work up into this chevron a little bit. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here, though, because it's hard to stitch, or it's hard to deal with not having any fabric here to hold. So, all right. Oop. Let's do that manually. Oh, I think I went forward. I was supposed to go backwards. Okay, here we go. There we go. Popping up that bobbin thread. All right. Oh, whoops. Well, that's fine as long as the bobbin and the top thread are both up. Ooh, I just realized we're doing it blind again here. I don't have all my drawn shapes. So I think I will definitely draw some shapes on here because that made it so much easier, at least to begin with, for that last chevron that I did. Fluff and smooth your big quilt as you go. Not rolled. Okay, I'm definitely going to do that, Noeline. That worked so much better, the fluffiness versus the rolled. The rolled I didn't like at all. When you start, do you go edge to edge or in the middle of the quilt? I'm going to go edge to edge for the quilt. And the thing is, it doesn't matter so much anymore for my chevrons quilt because we've already stitched all those chevrons. So the fabric shouldn't be moving around anymore very much because we did all that work already. So I'm not worried about, you know, the whole idea of starting at one edge and then going to the other consistently because it'll push the quilt around. I'm not as worried about that because we already have that sewn down. All right, we're making loop-de-loops, and I'm going to think about going fast with the pedal and slower with the hands. So, all right, I'm going to just use my hands here because there's not enough room. Ah, I just got nervous. Okay, let's do it. Ooh, yeah, I need to hold it on with something. Actually, why don't we try, let's get the glove out. We're gonna get the gloves, try the gloves instead of the grippets for this. There we go. Now I can still get in here with my little grippies. All right, let's go. And I'm making these awfully small. I don't need to be going this small with it. There. Now I'm going a little bit bigger. Ooh, I'm having a hard time. All right, I think I need to go slower with the hands, but I think the pedal's fine. Actually, the pedal's a little fast, too. I'm getting trapped. There, made it out. Made it out alive there. So I am going pretty tight with these. You know, my spacing and stuff could be a whole lot better here, but I don't know. I think those are starting to feel good though. Like these last few compared to these beginning ones where I just wasn't sure where to go yet. But I like this. These loops feel less of a trap to me than the meandering. Like I feel like the rule, I mean it's not a real rule, but like the idea of not overlapping another piece freaks me out a little bit about meandering. But with this, if you get stuck, then you just loop around and keep going. So I'm thinking I'm digging the loop-de-loops. I wouldn't mind giving this a try for one of our first. Yeah, maybe make the loops bigger. So maybe I'll try the bigger loops. We'll continue over to this side and I'll try bigger loops, and then maybe right at the end we'll do some circles maybe, or just maybe forget that. Maybe we'll just do a little bit more of this. All right, so yeah, okay, fine. So we're gonna do bigger loops and hopefully closer together on this side and see if we can do that. Let's get straightened out here again. All right, let's do it. I gotta like amp myself up before going. Let's do it. All right, bigger loops, and I'm gonna go slower so I can think about it. When I move my hands too fast, I feel like I'm not giving myself time to think. So not all of them have to be loops. There, we'll do a little one here. Whoa, slipped a little bit. Okay, and let's try and get closer together. And oop, that one was weird. I'm thinking once you start doing this a lot, you'll get better at, oop, I'm stuck. I think my grip's not pulling it enough that way. Let's change back to the grippets so I can yank on this a little bit better. There we go. Okay, breathe and relax. I can feel myself tensing up again and not breathing and relaxing my hands. All right, I'm gonna need that reminder. I'm gonna need that reminder for sure as we go to breathe and you know, just let the hands be relaxed. But so I'm off the edge of the batting there, so I think we will stop it there and see what we got going. Drink wine. That should be rule number 1. Drink wine, then you'll breathe and relax while you do this right. Oh, your instructor had you draw on paper. Oh, to get the drawing in mind. Yeah, so that's a good point, Sue, because you know I didn't really have a plan of where I'm going next. So I mean, right now it's kind of like it goes this direction and it comes back this. I think planning it out would allow me to kind of use the space a little bit better versus me going like straight up one way and then down and then back and forth. I think that would blend it together a little bit more. So yeah, I think some practice with that. And you know what? This is where your little notebook and doodling in the notebook is going to start helping with that. So I'll probably have like, some swirls in my future in my sketchbook here. But okay, so here, just to compare, here are the bigger loops, and I think that is looking super nice compared to this. So I tried to do bigger loops that were closer to the lines. You know, I got some goofy things up in here and stuff, but I don't know. I think like this little section is looking kind of cute. Let's see how tension and stitch length is looking Yeah, stitches look good. So, man, I'm telling you, that tip with the going a little faster with the pedal and the slower with the hands, man, I think that's what's doing it here for me. Try forming an L with both hands, fingers facing the back of the machine, and then the quilt area. Oh, okay, sure. Okay, Kathy, I'm going to do that. We'll do that next time. That's good, because that's making like a bigger area for me. Yeah. And I feel like I can plan it out maybe a little bit better that way. Okay, that's the plan, way of holding my hands next time. So, awesome. I think we're going to stop there for tonight, but I'm feeling good. I think we can just jump right in, because why not? But I do kind of like this squiggle and up and down thing that we did, and I think this would be a nice first way to do our first row tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to get onto the real life quilt. We'll start to play with the bulk of it all. I think to start out simple, we'll do this. I like this variation that happens, but we'll start by drawing it out. And you know what? Maybe we only draw out for a few of the zigzags before we stop drawing it, and then I have to do it without. That would be a good challenge. So I think that's where I'm going to start tomorrow. And, fill these big loops with circles. That would be kind of cool. Well, we're going to keep it simple to start out, so I think maybe row 1 will be what we're doing here, because it's nice and big. I can practice a lot of things yet. We'll draw it out first, because that was really helpful here. And then like I said, we'll leave the rest not drawn to see if I can do it without the drawing. And then, yeah, I need to practice my stipples. Maybe row number 2 we'll do all stipples like this. Hopefully I get better towards the end. And, I wouldn't mind doing a whole row with these squiggles, get better at that too. And I do want to get fancy during this too. But you know what? We need to practice before that. But woohoo! I am stoked. This worked out so much better. Really, all your tips have been so helpful. Oh, here's the back too. Got to check that out. So helpful so far, and I'm just over the moon stoked. So for reals tomorrow. So all right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll call it an evening. Hello. So here we go. If you angle it a little to suit the chevrons. Oh, I think I missed the first part of that, Nolene, but here we go. It's fun. I love it. And the nice thing is, remember, we already have those chevrons stitched, so every one of our rows is going to have a nice frame because we already have that lined frame. So we're just kind of filling in our chevron frames right now. So it won't look as messy as this because we will have that outline frame. But I'm stoked. We're cracking here. Hopefully, maybe we can whip through this thing and it'll just be done fast. Wouldn't that be something? So awesome, guys. Thank you for joining me. Started out tonight with just so many issues with the machine that I didn't have high hopes for this, but I think we're on the right track. I think it's going to go great. Looking forward to tomorrow. So thanks, guys. Thanks for all your help, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.